job seekers, welcome back to yet another episode of Let's Hear It From, a career podcast powered by My Job Factory, where we talk to senior HR leaders, founders, and academicians so that you listeners can learn, grow, and shape your own career path with confidence. Today's guest proves one very important thing: careers are not straight lines, they are power moves. She started in hardcore pharma sales, moved into media, corporate communications, branding, events, research, and then decided that this wasn't enough. So she went on to earn a doctorate in marketing. Somewhere along the way, she also became a LinkedIn top voice, TEDx speaker, a brand strategist, a researcher, and an educator shaping future marketeers. So, if you're a student confused about choosing marketing, a professional wondering whether sales is really worth it, or someone trying to understand how branding, data, and real world experience actually come together, then this episode is for you. So, without wasting a single second, let's hear it from the horse's mouth. Let's hear it from Dr. Tripti Dhote. Tripti ji, we are thrilled to have you here today. Welcome to the show.
Mr. Anandkar, it's an absolute pleasure.
Yes. I quickly come to the first question. Tripti ji, this is not only a question, but it is coming straight from my heart also, because even I have stuck in this question. Many students choose marketing because it sounds creative or popular. This is actually come from my heart. From your experience, please guide us. Why should someone consciously choose marketing as a specialization, and who should actually avoid it?
So, before I begin talking about this, how to choose marketing, I would like to thank you. You marketed me so well with a generous introduction of mine. So, there are two common misconceptions about marketing, and one of them is that marketing is a very superficial subject. So, it's just about selling. The other one being that it's only about making ads and campaigns and other things look very pretty and glamorous. But in reality, marketing is about decoding consumers, then shaping the experiences, driving business growth through insights and strategy. So, in fact, I myself chose marketing as a specialization on the behest of my professors. So, it was they who helped me to see its depth and impact. So, I would say that those who enjoy analyzing kind of behavior, blending creativity with data, or those who thrive on curiosity, empathy, and problem solving, and kind of staying connected to the industry should pursue marketing definitely. But if someone dislikes ambiguity or gets restless with the constant change, because marketing is dynamic, as you're aware, so they'll find marketing very exhausting rather than exciting. Because those who those are looking at glamour without substance may certainly struggle.
Very such an insightful answer. Let me take this question more deeper sense. What mindset shift is required when a student moves from being a general MBA aspirant? I'm typically talking about first year students, to committing to marketing as a specialization and as a long-term career.
Okay, so I believe the biggest mindset shift is moving from thinking like a manager to thinking more like a consumer psychologist. So, as a general MBA aspirant, you are trained to chase efficiency and frameworks. Even when I was doing my MBA, I was trained to understand all those frameworks, models. But now, once you commit to marketing, you must embrace empathy, the art of kind of storytelling backed by data, because it's all about data storytelling now. And I often tell my students that marketing is not only about selling a device. It's about understanding why watching a particular OTT series. It's about understanding why someone reaches for that series, or why someone purchases a particular device before actually going for that purchase. So, if I can be allowed, I also want to talk about a very interesting concept.
Yes, please go ahead. This is what I am looking for actually.
So it's a very, very practical and trending concept. It's called as the empty table principle. So this principle is the empty table principle is actually attributed to Mr. Steve Jobs. So if you must have read about all the stories about Apple, and also now Apple is something which is very close to the heart of most of the marketing faculties, and I am no exception. So in 1997, Apple was weeks away from its bankruptcy. The stocks were crashing, employees were kind of quitting, and it was like the brand was almost considered dead. So the board brought back Steve Jobs. Now, this was the time when Jobs was out of the company, but the board thought that they should bring in Steve Jobs. Okay, and his first act, what he did after resuming the company, was something which was very, very shocking. What Steve Jobs does is he straight away walks into a strategy meeting which is going on in the boardroom, and he looks at a giant table. There's a huge table there, and lot of products are spread on that particular table. So there are printers, gadgets, accessories, prototypes, and he says nothing. So he just stands there, and people are now becoming restless. What next? What does he exactly wants to do here? So what Steve Jobs does is he says that we don't need all these products. We only need 4 products which are insanely great. So he requests all the people who are there to just remove the table. All the products are removed. Only 4 products are there on the table. So it was from that empty table products like the iMac, the iPod, the iPhone and the iPad and all of them, they evolved, and Apple became one of the most profitable company. So what I'm trying to that point that I'm trying to drive is that Apple didn't grow by just adding, it also grew by subtracting. So consumers don't choose the best product, they actually choose a clear choice. So for students, like you asked me, the students who are choosing marketing, this principle is very, very powerful. They don't crowd your table with trends or noise. The moment you stop looking at marketing as a restricted function and start looking at it with a broader lens, you are ready for the long haul. So you definitely need to change the lens. Your perspective will automatically change. So you've truly crossed over from being just an MBA student to becoming, for becoming a marketer.
Wow, such an insightful answer, Tripti ji. Wish somebody you would have told me 25 years ago. Okay, very quickly moving on to the next question. Tripti ma'am, marketing today is increasingly becoming data driven and performance oriented. So what misconceptions do students still carry about marketing roles that might hurt their career early on?
That's a nice question. See, at one point in time, in fact, when we were also doing our MBA, marketing was based on more or less on qualitative data and judgments and all of that. Now, one big conception which we have already spoken about is that marketing is just about scratching the surface. And students also carry this misconception that marketing is only about creativity and campaigns. So, but actually, it has several dimensions. And the most crucial aspect being gathering insights from different touch points. So earlier on in their career, they are shocked to find, say, dashboards, KPIs, ROAS, that is the return on advertising spend reports, staring back at them in the organization. So I have kind of observed several fresh graduates who freeze and frown when asked to interpret that why a click-through rate maybe dipped by 2%. So marketing today is as much about analytics as it is about ideas. Therefore, if you ignore the numbers, you risk becoming irrelevant. And if you embrace them, you are definitely going to unlock the power to make creativity more, quantifiable, measurable and impactful.
Wow. I quickly move on to the next question. Tripti ji, even you must have I have met a lot of marketing students who hesitate or even resist, accepting sales role. This is one very important question. My question to you is very simple. Why should marketing professionals not shy away from sales, and how does sales experience actually strengthen a very good marketing career in the coming future?
True. And that I would say, Mr. Ankar, is thanks to the notion that sales is the poor cousin of marketing. And there is also this again there is this myth that is only about a door-to-door selling profile.
Okay.
Where you actually get you billing there, people bang the door at you when you go with a product. But as a matter of fact, sales puts you on the front line with consumers is what I believe, because I also started my career in sales, pharma sales. So it teaches you persuasion, negotiation.
Correct.
And in fact also the art of listening. Because today we talk about social listening and we gather a lot of insights from the social media. And so these are some skills which no classroom can teach you or no classroom can replicate. The one which you learn on a field. So it kind of grounds your
Absolutely.
marketing in reality, showing how strategies play out in the market. So marketers who have done sales, they are able to craft campaigns that actually connect, because they've lived
Correct.
with the consumers world. They've had a first-hand experience. So
Yes, such a correct answer. Just going deeper into it. For example,
yeah.
take a case like if a student is starting his career today. So, what early roles or experiences would you strongly recommend to him to build a solid marketing foundation in his first 3 to 5 years?
Correct. Now, in the first 3 to 5 years, now students should be in the learning mode, and they should
Yes.
embrace. I think sales continues to be an important pillar or important part of marketing. So, students should embrace sales or frontline roles to
Okay.
understand the customers firsthand. Right. So whenever we have guest sessions and we call people from the FMCG or maybe from any other sector, the first thing that they mention is that students should know what the P&L statement is all about. And P&L statement and sales and consumer knowledge is very important. Now this, in today's context, can be paired with is to be paired with digital marketing and analytics exposure to build your data fluency.
Right.
Now, finally, working on brand campaigns or product launches. Like, I also launched a lot of products when I was a student. I used to do a lot of freelancing, and this teaches you how creativity and strategy they
Correct.
kind of meet execution. So together, forming a very strong future-ready foundation. So to put it into a perspective, early roles, like you said, 3 to 5 years, should give you hands-on campaign exposure,
Okay.
sharpen your communication and client skills, and build networks. While if you are able to handle diverse projects or multitasking, ensure that you learn they help you to ensure that you learn every facet, every aspect, and or rather multiple aspects of marketing.
Correct. Correct. I quickly move on to the next question, and the next question is for experienced professionals. Trupti ji, I want to know from you, for professionals with around say 6 to 10 years of experience, what realistic career avenues exist within marketing beyond traditional brand marketing or communication roles? Say, for example, consumer insights, analytics, growth, consulting, even entrepreneurship.
Correct. Right, right. So, for professionals, you said 6 to 10 years of experience is quite a time that you've spent on the field or spent in marketing. So now here, marketing opens the doors for far beyond brand management, as you rightly mentioned,
Okay.
brand or communication management and all of that. Now, you can at this stage you can move into consumer insights and analytics, where you are able to decode
Okay.
behavior through data. So growth and performance marketing roles also at this stage will let you drive scale because we are into a digital first scenario. So consulting,
Okay.
we also spoke about consulting. So consulting offers you the opportunity to solve diverse brand challenges, while academia and training allow you to shape the next generation of marketers. And of course, did you also mention entrepreneurship? Yes.
Right. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so entrepreneurship is about building your own D2C or your own niche venture, or just to start up. Now, this for me is a natural progression or path for those who want to create
Yes.
rather than just manage. The key to this is to leverage your decade of experience into roles that blend strategy, technology, and of course human intervention or human psychology.
Correct.
So if I can give my example, I started with a sales role as a trainee, and then moving on to executive role in client servicing in an ad agency. Then I took up product management, and then after a few consulting assignments for brands like HUL or say for that matter Cadbury's, BPCL, etc., I moved on to academia for knowledge dissemination and updation as well.
Okay.
So,
Yes. Right. Uh, such a detailed answer. Trupti ji, I move on to the next question very quickly. In the current scenario, with the rise of digital marketing tools and artificial intelligence, what skills will remain non-negotiable human skills for marketeers in this coming very next decade?
This is an extremely relevant and significant question, and thank you for
Yes,
coming up with
yes.
this question. I would say that the leap from, say, a mid-level to
Mhm.
leadership comes when a marketer stops being just an executor. That you have given me this task and I'm going to execute that task, and
Mhm.
instead, a marketer needs to start owning up the vision of the organization.
Okay.
So those who connect data with consumer insight, or those who are able to influence
Okay.
cross-functional teams and make decisions that go beyond
Mhm.
just a campaign's progress,
Mhm.
uh, while those are the ones who progress, while those who stay task focused, they plateau. In a
Okay.
lighter vein, in a lighter vein, mid-level marketers who plateau are the ones who keep on polishing their
Right.
PowerPoint, and leaders are the ones who actually rewrite the playbook.
So I'll quickly move to the next question. Tripti ji, you have seen both industry and academia very closely. So what gaps do you commonly observe between students, learn and what marketing industry actually expects from them?
Okay, this is another interesting question. One clear gap that I can see or that I have observed is that our
Yes.
classrooms, they often stay rooted in theory. So they are very
Right.
quote-rich classrooms.
Right, right. Very, very aptly used
Kindly
word.
excuse me for saying this, but yeah. So there, it's a very like I said that it is full of it's governed by the Kotler models.
Right.
Then there are typical FMCG case studies, while industry has evolved. So, therefore, the industry now demands fluency in digital tools, in analytics, and consumer experience, and all those upcoming trendy concepts. Now, for example, if I have to substantiate this, students learn segmentation in marketing. But now
Right.
companies, that is fantastic. It's a fundamental concept, and you should be aware of that. But now
Yes.
companies expect them to build personas, consumer personas.
Okay.
They expect
Yes.
them to personalize consumer journeys.
Right.
So now they practice campaign ideas. Students, they practice campaign ideas, but employers want them to measure ROIs. They talk about Net Promoter Score (NPS). They talk about CES, CSAT, and they talk about
Right.
growth metrics. So, in short,
Right.
academia teaches the what, while industry rewards those who can actually deliver the so what, that is the insights that drive action.
Okay, such an apt answer. Okay, finally, I come to the last question of this episode. Finally, Trupti ji, if a young professional is unsure whether marketing is right for them or not, what questions should they honestly ask themselves before committing to this part?
I think the first question that they need to ask is like, am I enjoying? I always believe in this, that do what you love and love what you do. So
Okay.
ask yourself, do I enjoy being with
Yes.
my consumer? Do I enjoy decoding their behavior and thrive in a scenario which is very dynamic and which is ambiguous? Am I also equally comfortable with creativity and playing around with data? And most
Okay.
importantly, do I see marketing not as merely selling products but as sharing
Mhm.
experiences and aspirations? If the answer to these questions is yes,
Yes,
then you are on the
correct.
right path. I think you have chosen the
Wow.
perfect career.
Yes, yes. What an inspiring answer. Wish I could have, somebody would have told me this in my earlier career days. Anyways, Trupti ji, before we get into deeper questions, it is time for for warming up things in a bit. Quick questions, instinctive answers, no overthinking. It's time for a rapid fire and a surprise round. My
Mhm.
first rapid fire question goes to you right now. Right now, one skill every marketing student must master today.
Be a go getter, proactive spirit.
Great. Classroom teaching or real world exposure. What shapes better marketers?
I think it's a bale puri. You need a collaboration of both. You need a
Correct.
proper mix and match of both. This is like a quad set.
Yes. My next question goes to right away. One marketing myth students should immediately stop believing.
The same thing that I mentioned is marketing is all about selling and it's just about scratching the surface. No, marketing is an ocean. So from may that be a red ocean, blue ocean, or a
Yes.
purple ocean strategy. But marketing is an ocean which needs to be explored.
Great. Brand building or performance marketing?
Depends. I mean, you just can't
Okay.
say brand building or performance, but both.
Okay, great. One mistake you see fresh MBAs repeatedly make.
One mistake, misconceptions, and
Okay.
they feel that marketing is very easy. They feel that it's very glamorous, which is not the case.
Okay. Sales experience?
Or rather, I'd put it as marketing is beyond glamour.
Okay. Sales experience, is it essential or optional for marketers?
I think it is essential.
Oh my goodness, my goodness. One Indian brand you admire for its marketing campaigns?
Indian brand. Well, it's very difficult for me to think of it. But I think now we have all these
Yes.
young brands
Okay,
coming up, Zomato being one of them.
Yes, that's fair enough. Last rapid fire question for this episode. One word that defines a successful marketer.
Keep going.
Wow, amazing. So, Dr. Triptijit, this has been an incredibly insightful and a refreshing conversation. Thank you so much for being so honest, so grounded, and so generous with your experiences. And for everyone watching, if you're confused about choosing marketing, hesitant about sales, or wondering how careers really grow beyond job titles, I hope today's conversation gave you clarity and confidence. Remember, careers aren't built overnight, they are built through choices, courage, and consistency. Thank you so much for watching Let's Share It From. Bye for now. Please take care and see you soon in the next episode of Let's Share It From with another real story, real lessons, and real career insights. Wow, done. I'll just stop.
Thank you so much for